Okay, good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. This is the routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina, covering Thursday through next Wednesday into our new month. My name is Gail Hartfield, Senior Forecaster here at the National Weather Service in Raleigh, and let's get started. Okay, we're going to start here today with the upcoming weather pattern for Central North Carolina. Pretty quiet week overall, spoiler alert. Not going to be a whole heck of a lot going on. So we do have this high pressure area that is nosing in from the Great Lakes region into our area, and that is providing us with some dry weather and a little bit on the cool side for this time of year. Our normal highs are sitting in the mid to upper 60s for the most part. So just a little chilly for this time of year. As this high pressure area starts to shift offshore as we get into late in the weekend and into the early part of next week, we'll start to see some moderation of temperatures of sorts, and we will see an increasing chance of rain, and that's going to be starting late Sunday through Monday night. And I know that's a bummer for some who are looking at Halloween activities on Monday. So we'll get into that a little bit more, but it does not look like it is going to be a total washout. So that is some good news. So temperatures will be warming up above normal. The cooler temperatures you've got with that high pressure will slowly moderate as we get into the weekend, and will eventually warm up to just above normal readings by the time we get late in the weekend and in early next week. Once the rain chances exit Monday night, possibly lingering into early Tuesday, but for the most part, Tuesday looks dry. We will have another high pressure area moving in from the west, and that will bring a return to dry weather and fairly mild temperatures, not a big cool down by any stretch into the middle of next week. Okay, looking at the accumulated precipitation forecast for the next 5 days. As you can see, the next few days are going to be dry, as I mentioned. As we get into Sunday and Monday, you can see there we do have the potential for a 1/10, maybe a 1/4 inch there north of the Triad. There's a lot of differences amongst our computer models as to how much precipitation there's going to be with this, or the potential for it. Right now, there's still some uncertainty as to how much we're going to get and what kind of coverage. We have a couple of computer models that in general don't have much at all, just a little bit of rain on Monday, and so that would be good news for folks who have activities going on Monday. Although we'll get into it in a little bit, we could use the wetness, we could use the rain. So either way, right now it does not look like a total washout at all for Sunday, late Sunday into Monday. So that's good news for folks who have outdoor activities. Looking next at the observed rainfall over the last 7 days, and I just wanted to point this out to point out the fact that we haven't had an awful lot. It's been a very dry last week. Look, a couple lucky folks there south of Greensboro got a little bit, but by and large, a lot of us have been very dry. So that sets the stage for the current drought monitor, and this is just released today. As you can see, it looks like the spotty D0 conditions, abnormally dry conditions, do persist today, with a slight expansion of the area since last week. And an area of D1, or moderate drought, was introduced in Sampson County. And that's pretty much the result of this increasing dry trend in the recent weeks and the below normal precipitation from last week. You can see the little inset there. The southern Appalachians are experiencing some of the worst drought conditions. So as we get into our southwest sections and into northern Georgia, we do have some very low stream flows, and several agriculture interests are reporting having very dry pastures and necessary to have supplemental feeding of livestock down there and some delayed planting of winter wheat. So some concern down there in the southwest part. But as far as central North Carolina goes, we're just looking at the overall increasing dryness and not looking like an awful lot to alleviate that in the next week. As we look at the excessive rainfall outlook, mentioned there's very little expected, so no flash flooding is expected over the next several days. Severe weather outlook, you see nothing and not even any general thunder expected. The rain that we're expecting late Sunday into Monday is expected to be just rain, so we're not expecting any thunder with that. Might be an isolated storm or two, but overall it looks like more of a rain pattern and not a thunderstorm pattern, so that's good news. Looking at the tropics, it's been fairly quiet of late, knock wood that continues, but there are a couple of areas of interest that they're looking at. One is a system that's not even formed yet, but a lot of the computer models are indicating this, and some observations are suggesting that there could be a low pressure system developing down in the southern Caribbean. So they'll be on the lookout for that. That does not look like it's going to be impactful for us. And similarly, with a trough of low pressure that's in the Western Atlantic, there is some shower and thunderstorm activity with that, with a surface low expected to form, or at least a medium chance of that forming. It would probably be a subtropical development, so not purely tropical. And even if it does develop, it might be of concern for Bermuda, but not for the East Coast, other than the potential for perhaps some rip currents on the beaches, which always seems to happen with a lot of these offshore storms. It's always a concern for our coast. So other than the risk of rip currents at the coast, no impacts from tropical activity on the horizon for us. And let's see, okay, and looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook for the following week, a more than 60% chance of above normal temperatures. So that's pretty high probability. So basically most signals are pointing to warm temperatures next week. So don't necessarily put away the summer clothes and the short sleeves because you may need them next week. And unfortunately for drought purposes, below normal precipitation is favored with a pretty good chance of that. So warm and dry looks like the outlook for week 2, and you can see our normals there in the Raleigh area. Normal high of 66 this time of year for next week, and normal low of 42. So we're starting to cool off, getting really into the fall, but it will not feel like it next week by all accounts. And here's our summary. Again, high pressure was going to dominate our forecast into the weekend with dry weather and slightly cooler than normal temperatures, especially in the Triad region. We're going to see those cooler temperatures lingering through Sunday. And as the high exits offshore, we do have a low pressure system approaching from the west. There's a chance of rain starting late Sunday and extending through Monday night. Again, does not look like it's going to be a total washout. In some places may not get much at all. So stay tuned for the latest forecast, and we'll provide some more defined timing as far as activities go for Monday. But by and large, I would say no immediate need to cancel plans. It looks like there's enough chance that precipitation amounts are going to be on the low side and could be a little spotty as well. Another high pressure area moving in from the west in the early and middle part of next week will bring some dry weather again, and some mild temperatures are expected. And no hazardous weather is expected at this time. So thank you for listening, and hope you all have a wonderful weekend, a happy and safe Halloween, and we will talk to you for the next briefing on Monday.